Hey guys, this is CS50's game development course assignment number 2. The game this time is called Breakout or the Brick Breaker game. It is pretty simple. You have a ball, a paddle and a set of bricks and you have to destroy all the bricks to win. So the objectives are add a multi-ball power up, add a locked brick and a key power up to destroy the locked brick, and finally grow or shrink the paddle size if the player gains enough points or loses health. So first, let us talk about the multi-ball power-up. As the name suggests, when it is collected, it spawns in 2 new balls in addition to the original one, each with their own collision detection. So here's how it works. In the power-ups class, there is a function called powerups.addBall, which takes in x, y, dx and dy as the parameters, and based on those parameters, it generates slightly randomized set of values, assigns it to a ball variable and returns it. And in the play state, the values of the first ball in the main ball table are sent as the parameters, and then the returned ones are added into the main ball table. So now let us talk about the locked brick and the key power up. The locked brick is a special kind of a brick which cannot be broken unless you have enough number of keys. But first you need to spawn in a key. It checks if the locked brick exists, then randomly spawn in a key in the play area. And when you have collected enough keys, that is more than 2 in this case, you can break the locked brick and you get a really generous bonus. Now coming on the last one, that is the changing paddle sizes. So first I have made a table which contains the width of all the different paddle sizes, as you can see here. Whenever the paddle size is changed, we also need to change the width. That is achieved by this function right here. It takes in size as the parameter and checks what it is, and based on that, it changes the width accordingly. If the player surpasses the recover points, that is initially set to 5000, the paddle size will increase. If the paddle is already at the largest size, then there's no need to change. And if the player loses a health or one of the balls go out of play, then the paddle size will decrease. And again, if it is already the smallest size, then there is no need to change. As you can see here, the paddle size increased as soon as it surpassed 5000 points. And if one of the balls go out of play, the paddle size decreases. That was my assignment. Now here are some facts about the game. The game was originally released by Atari on May 13th, 1976. Here is the original poster of the game. The game was made by 3 gentlemen, Nolan Bushnell, Steve Bristow and Steve Wozniak. Nolan Bushnell wanted to create a single-player Pong, hence he came up with the idea of Breakout. Bushnell initially asked Steve Jobs to come up with a prototype of the game, and that he would get a bonus for every less number of logic chips used. So Jobs took help of his friend Steve Wozniak to design the prototype and said he would evenly distribute the money that is paid afterward. So Wozniak came up with a prototype and Jobs presented it to Nolan Bushnell, and Jobs ended up earning a bonus of $5,000, which he kept a secret from Steve Wozniak, and he told him that he only earned $700, so the amount of money that Wozniak was paid by Jobs was only $350. And it was not until 10 years later that Wozniak came to know what Jobs had done. Before finishing off the video, I really wanted to show you this really cool Google Easter egg. So if you go on the Google home page and type Atari Breakout, then click on I am feeling lucky, you will get to play the Google's version of Breakout. So that was it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking out till the end. I hope